Most people evaluate a place to retire based on a Saturday in July, but retiring somewhere is a Tuesday in February decision, and those are two completely different places. If you're looking at Southern Maine or Seacoast, New Hampshire for retirement, I'm going to give you the criteria that actually matters up here, and then I'm going to tell you the one town that I'd actually choose, and it might not be the one that you're expecting. First off, let me show you the filter I'm running every option through because most people are using the wrong criteria entirely. And real quick, let me introduce myself. My name's Cam Avery and I'm a local realtor in Seacoast, New Hampshire. If you're new to the channel, definitely subscribe and download our free relocation guide. The link is right in the description below. So here's the problem with most retirement town research. It starts and ends with aesthetics. Charming downtown, walkable, close to the water, good restaurants, and I get it. Those things matter, but if it's your whole checklist, you're going to miss some stuff that will matter a lot more on day 400 than it did on day one. And so here's what I actually look for when I'm thinking about retirement fit on the coastline. First, year-round community. A lot of the townspeople fall in love with up here are seasonal. The restaurants close, the neighbors leave, the energy just disappears after Labor Day. If you're retiring here full-time, you need a town with a real year-round heartbeat. Locals who are actually there in January, community events that don't depend on tourist season, a social fabric that holds up when it's cold and gray and the visitors are long gone. Second, healthcare proximity. This one gets overlooked constantly. The Seacoast is relatively rural in stretches, and some of the most beautiful towns are also 40 to 45 minutes from a serious medical facility. That's fine when you're under 45. It's a completely different calculation at 70. Third, the tax picture, and this is where New Hampshire changes the conversation entirely. No state income tax, no broad-based sales tax. If you're coming from Massachusetts, Connecticut, or New York, the financial difference between retiring in New Hampshire versus Maine is not small. Maine does have a state income tax. Maine taxes Social Security above a certain threshold. New Hampshire doesn't touch any of it. And for a retiree on a fixed income, that math adds up to real money every single year. Fourth is walkability that actually works in winter, not walkable in sandals in August. I mean, can you get to a coffee shop, a pharmacy, a grocery store without getting in your car in February? That is a different standard, and most towns on the coast don't clear it. Fifth, a social scene that isn't built around tourists. Arts, culture, community organization, things to do that are for the people who live there, not for the people passing through. That distinction matters enormously for long-term quality of life because eventually the novelty wears off and what you're left with is just your town and you need that to be enough. So those are my 5 criteria, and when I run every town on this coastline through that filter, one place keeps rising to the top. So before I tell you the town that I pick, let me be honest about the places that are probably already on your list, right? Portsmouth is extraordinary, genuinely one of the best small cities in New England. The restaurant scene, the history, the waterfront, the energy, it's all real. But here's what Portsmouth is not. It's not a quiet retirement town. It's a city. It's busy. It can be loud on the weekends, and the real estate market there is ferociously competitive. Entry-level inventory for retirees is tight, and prices reflect the demand. You're not getting a deal in Portsmouth by any means. Kennebunkport, stunning. It photographs beautifully. The architecture is incredible, and it absolutely deserves its reputation. But it is deeply seasonal. Walk around Kennebunkport in late January and you will understand immediately what I mean, and the price point has gotten extreme. You're paying a significant premium for a town that is really designed for summer visitors, not necessarily year-round residents. Ogunquit. Same story, maybe more so. One of the most beautiful stretches of coastline in the entire country. Also one of the most seasonal towns on the entire coast. It essentially closes. If you want a summer home, Ogunquit is a dream. If you want a retirement home year-round, it is a much harder case to make. Hampton is more affordable, more year-round than some of these others, but it doesn't have the walkable downtown infrastructure, the cultural anchors, or the community depth that I think makes a truly great retirement fit. Here's the thing. The towns that photograph best aren't always the ones that live the best, especially in winter, especially on a retirement income. And so if it's not Portsmouth, not Kennebunkport, not Ogunquit, then what town actually checks every box? Here's my answer, and if you haven't spent real time there, this one might catch you off guard. Exeter, New Hampshire. Not Portsmouth, not Hampton, not anywhere in Maine, Exeter, and let me tell you exactly why. The downtown is genuinely walkable year-round. This isn't a seasonal strip that shuts down in October. Exeter has a real functioning year-round downtown with coffee shops, restaurants, independent retail, bookstore, farmers market, community events that happen in every season. Walk down Water Street on a Wednesday in March, and there are actual people there, locals. That is rarer than you think on this coastline. Phillips Exeter Academy gives this town something most small towns simply don't have. I know you're probably thinking, what does a prep school have to do with my retirement? Well, it has a lot, actually. The Academy brings in world-class speakers, arts performances, public lectures, athletic events. It helps to fund community resources. It creates an intellectual and cultural energy in a town of 16,000 people that you just don't find at this scale anywhere else on the coast. It's a genuine quality of life asset that most people don't even know to look for. The Squamscott River runs right through downtown. There are walking trails, a beautiful mill pond, access to the water without the Atlantic Ocean price tag. It's not necessarily postcard pretty in a manufactured way, but it is quite a lovely place. The kind of place you want to walk on a Sunday morning in October and look at all the leaves. Healthcare. You got Exeter Hospital, now part of Beth Israel Lahey Health, is right there. You're not 45 minutes driving to find a serious medical facility, and that matters. Trust me, that matters a lot. The financial picture is also pretty hard to argue with. You're in New Hampshire, so you have no state income tax, no tax on Social Security, no tax on retirement distributions, and no broad-based sales tax. If you're coming from a state that taxes all of that, and most of you watching this are, the annual savings are meaningful. We're talking potentially thousands of dollars a year, every year, for the rest of your life. Exeter's property taxes are real. This is New Hampshire. That's always the trade-off, but they're in line with comparable towns. You know exactly what you're signing up for when you move here. And it's not isolated. This is the one that really seals the deal for me. Exeter puts you 15 minutes from Portsmouth, an hour from Boston. You can get on 95 and be in the city for a concert, a medical specialist, a flight, and come home to a quiet, walkable New England town the same night. That combination of true small-town livability with real-world access is genuinely hard to find. Here's what I think gets missed about Exeter. It doesn't feel like a town that's trying to be discovered. It's not performing for tourists. It's not chasing a brand. It's just a really good place to live, with a strong school system that stabilizes property values, a historic character that's been there for centuries, and a community that's genuinely invested in itself. I've had conversations with retirees who moved to the flashier towns first and eventually landed in Exeter, and almost every single one of them says the same thing. I wish I'd just started here. Now, look, I know there's no perfect town. Exeter's not cheap. New Hampshire property taxes are real, and you need to go in with eyes wide open on that. And if you want to be right on the Atlantic with waves outside your window, Exeter is just not going to give you that either. But if you want a town with a real year-round downtown, a cultural life that doesn't shut off in September, healthcare you can count on, a financial environment that actually respects your retirement income, and access to everything the Seacoast has to offer, I would recommend starting in Exeter. If you want to go deeper on the New Hampshire versus Maine retirement tax comparison, I've got a full breakdown on that. You can watch that video right here. And if you want to talk through where you specifically fit on this coastline, definitely reach out. That's exactly what we're here for. We help people all the time move to the area.